His response letter. All set?
All set.
Okay, it's 7 PM, February 8th, 2022 in City Hall, 140 Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Time to call the City of Torrington Inland Wetlands Commission meeting to order. Serving on the commission this evening are members Alexis Abruzzi, William Storty, Christine Altman, myself, Jay Bate. Also present is Jeremy Leifert, city planner. Next is minutes for approval for the 11/9/21 minutes.
I move we accept the minutes.
I have a motion. Can I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is old business. Show cause hearing, property owner Ron Raymond. Address Felicity Lane, assessor map 101, block 011, lot 008. Violation, grading and material processing within regulated area without permits.
So I had thought we had this one resolved, but I went out there last week and there's new stockpiles and the trucks are back parked in there. So I think I ought to turn this one over to Corporation Council. That we've been tossing this one around long enough.
Yeah, I mean, this is going on close to a year now.
Yeah.
I mean, we did everything we could to help them along.
Yeah, and I've spoken directly to them more than once. So,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So next is show cause hearing, property owner Jose Bonilla. Address 37 Stone Ridge Drive, assessor map 121, block 001, lot 005. Violation, work in regulated area without permits. Lift, cease and desist order.
Yeah, so I think we can actually make a decision to close this one because it's compliant now.
Okay.
You had a contractor go in and actually do the corrective work.
Okay.
And permanent erosion controls we're establishing as the first snowflakes flew. So I think we're far enough along where we can make a motion to close the show cause hearing and lift the cease and desist order.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
I'll move that we close the show cause hearing and cease and desist order for Jose Bonilla, 37 Stone Ridge Drive, assessor map 121, block 1, lot 5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next. New business applicant Amy A. Samuelson. AIA, the Slam Collaborative. Location 50 Major Best Drive and 277 Winthrop Street. Activity, earthwork, and construction as required for the revised site redevelopment, including grading, drainage, utilities, and placement of hardscape, bituminous asphalt, curbing, sidewalks, etc., and landscaping for the new high and middle schools and central office.
Oh, can you just grab that microphone? Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It seems like it control of this. Yeah. Okay, well, I apologize. I can't seem to get this to share full screen, so I'm gonna try to maximize it here. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's not paying attention. It's almost like the mouse is off a little bit from where. Okay, no reason to hold up the meeting. You can see it fine? Okay. So thank you for having us.
I could just state your name for the record,
Amy
please.
Samuelson for the SLAM Collaborative, and we are the architects of the new proposed Torrington Middle and High School and Central Office Building. And with me today is landscape architect Henry Withers and civil engineer John Oliveto. So I'll give an overview of the project in general, and then the experts will discuss the wetlands impact. The existing high school sits at 50 Major Bessie Drive, as you mentioned, which requires the use of another city parcel to enter and exit off of Winthrop Avenue. Here. So we are proposing to utilize the same entrance off of Winthrop and to improve the driveway in this location alongside the pond and to improve the existing parking lot at this end as a part of this project. And then we'll begin by constructing a new middle and high school in the area of the existing parking lot. And once the majority of that building is built in the following summer of 2023, they'll do abatement and demolition of the existing high school building, with the exception of this portion of the structure. The existing gymnasium structural steel and slab will remain. And we'll rebuild a new gymnasium in that same location utilizing the structural steel so that you have the benefit of the same large sized gymnasium for the city. No. So as you can see, this is the new proposed site plan. As mentioned, same entrance along from Winthrop along Major Bessie. We are also proposing the use of Daily Drive for a access at bus drop-off and pickup times only. Otherwise, there will be a gate at this location, so there won't be any through traffic, through Daily Drive to the neighborhood, back and forth from Winthrop. But during bus drop-off and parent and pickup and drop-off, this road will be utilized to offset some of the traffic that we anticipate because of the combination of middle and high school now. So the small loop that you see here that I'm highlighting is the parent drop-off loop. And from this location and entering from both sides is the larger loop. In this area, this is the bus drop-off zone. High school students will enter at this location. Middle school students will enter at this location. I'll show you where on the next slide. This is an image just to help you identify where the existing high school is. It's ghosted in this plan. But you can see that once that high school is taken down, the existing building, we will be adding some athletic fields in the location of the demolition of that school. And then we'll be able to complete the site work associated with the driveways in that location. a enlarged version showing the outline of the building. And you'll note that there's a high school main entrance here and this wing that curves and then parallels Route 8 is the high school wing. This wing, which is, and that wing, I'm sorry, was 4 stories. This wing is 3 stories. It is the middle school wing. And then there are some shared spaces like the auditorium and a band room. The dining halls are separated, but the kitchen and servery are connected. So middle school dining, high school dining, each at the end of their wings. Middle school gymnasium at the end of its wing as well. And then accessed by a through corridor is the high school gymnasium, which will be refurbished, all new locker rooms and storage areas for the athletics department. And then this area, which is in addition to the building as well, is a new auto shop in that location. As far as site circulation, there is a service drive that runs along the back. There's a loading dock and entrance for the kitchen staff and service there. Fire lane continues around the entire perimeter, but there will be a gate at this location, driveway accessed along this area, which is for pre-K. It serves a small pre-K population and child development class, and there's separate parent pickup and drop off in that location for pre-K and a small playground. Any other questions about the description of the building and facility that's proposed? Okay. And I'll back up just to one of the site drawings so that you can go ahead, Henry.
Great. I guess I should probably take over. Thank you, Amy. Amy, for the record, my name is Henry Withers. I'm a landscape architect registered in the state of Connecticut. I'm also part of the SLAM Collaborative, and I'm working with Amy and her architectural team to help develop the site. We're trying to essentially reuse quite a bit of the site, as Amy explained, for cost savings reasons and also environmental reasons. It makes sense, but we're also trying to provide for more, let me make sure I know how to use this, for more athletic fields in this area here. So we have a contiguous area of open fields where the old school was. This drive here is basically where it exists today. We're adding some parking in this area, bringing a connector drive down here, coming off of Winthrop. This street is basically the same drive that is there today. And in fact, several of the storm pipes and drainage structures are in the same location that they will be once we're done. They'll just be refurbished and improved. John will get into that in just a little bit. This parking lot is essentially the same. We're redoing it to make it new and give it new curbs and improve again the drainage. And John is adding some rain gardens in that area as well. That'll help. We also are adding some parking down in this area, so we bring our total count up to what is required. And this area, if you remember from the original site plan or from the aerial that Amy showed first, this area is already paved. It is tennis courts today. And so it would be a small parking area down in that location. With regard to the areas that were proximate to wetlands, this is the pond at Bessie Park. And so there are a few inlets that go in there, and there is some siltation that has occurred over the years. So John is working to improve that with structures he's providing. We'll be minimizing the siltation that occurs in that pond and minimizing the type of other material that might get into the pond today. He's also providing some areas of recharge down in this area and this area that will make a big difference. And as I've mentioned, some rain gardens throughout the site as well. And he'll get into the specifics of that, but we believe that all these improvements will be will have a very positive impact on the stormwater going to the pond at Bessie Park and for the site in general. There are several areas of wetlands. Again, the main pond and the wetland area that is sort of a marshy area where it's silted in over the years. And then there's a wetland channel that runs along through this area here behind the apartments. And there's a very small little pocket of wetlands up in this area here. John's drawing, I believe, will indicate that in a color so that you'll be able to see those better. We are using primarily native materials throughout the site for new plantings. And we are also providing in various areas a New England native wildflower mix. And then in the rain gardens, we are using a rain garden mix that is actually a pre-done mix that Ernst puts together. And we believe that all these improvements, again, will actually make the site, the stormwater management on the site better than it is today by quite a bit. And we are, with the addition of the new building and the addition of the parking, we are changing the overall coverage of the site from what was 33.3% to 35%. So that additional water is going to be handled. Again, there is stormwater recharge and there's the rain garden. So again, we believe that the overall impact to the site will be an improvement. I'm going to stop there unless somebody has any specific questions at this time, and let John Olivetto from Benesh give you a little bit more detail.
Does all the water from the site now go to the pond eventually somehow?
It actually goes to various
discharge points?
locations, and John can talk about that a little bit more, but there are paved leak offs that don't even have any management that are coming right down into the swale along Route 8. And there are other areas where it gets into, just flows off the pavement into the wetlands this direction and this direction. And again, all the stormwater now will be managed, which will be an improvement. John's got various storm scepters and what have you that will take care of getting silt out. He'll go into that. I'm sorry, I didn't leave that last slide.
That's all right. Good evening. My name is John Olivetto. I'm with Alfred Benesh and Company, and we are the civil engineers who were responsible for designing the site storm drainage and erosion control for the entire site. So this is just a little snippet of the entire site. Just to give you guys an orientation, this gray irregular figure is going to be the new building. This is like the main entrance, Major Bessie Drive, and then off the page is Winthrop Street, your fields back here, and Daily Drive running along the back. So I've gone ahead and color coded this this little drainage map to give you guys a better idea of where wetlands are located. The pink hatched area here and right along here along the pond is the wetlands, and then the yellow shaded area is the upland review area, just upland of the wetlands, obviously. Additionally, there is that small pocket wetlands that Henry was mentioning earlier, and then the upland review area. So right now, generally the site all slopes from east, which is up here at the top of the page, down west. And a lot of the runoff from the eastern, or I guess the southern portion of the site does flow directly into the pond. But everything else over here flows west to a swale that runs right along the highway and in between the site. And then the pond, when the pond overflows, it overflows into that swale and then flows north and then into a culvert under the highway into a brook. So now these red lines that you see here, these are existing storm pipes that are going to remain. Right over here, there's a large 48-inch culvert that runs underneath the parking lot that's going to be reconfigured and into the pond. That culvert takes flow from the residential properties located up here, and that culvert's not going to be touched. There are several outfalls that flow from the existing parking lot into the pond. And right now, those ponds don't have any outlet control, no riprap to provide any erosion control. So what we are proposing is these blue pipes which tie into existing, and then we're going to be providing riprap outlet control protection, as well as proprietary separators, which are those storm scepters Henry was mentioning. Those provide water quality treatment of the 1-inch flow. Additionally, these two blue boxes we see here are those large plastic underground chambers, which provide storage of the all the way up to the 100-year event. As Henry was mentioning, we are increasing the impervious coverage by about 1.5%. So these chambers here help provide the peak flow detention to reduce the total flow to the pond from existing to proposed conditions. Additionally, within these like parking areas, we have some small islands, which are the green areas. And these are going to be like rain gardens, bioretention areas, which also provide additional water quality volume, and then eventually overflow into our storm system and into the pond. So with all these improvements, we believe that we're significantly improving the storm runoff into Major Bessie and into the swale over here, by providing all of these riprap outlet control and detention. Now, in addition to erosion control, since the site is going to be disturbed and you'll have exposed soils, we do have silt fence down gradient to provide the cleaning of runoff, and we got hay bales. We'll have construction entrances at all of the site entrances during the construction, which provide the cleaning of the wheels on the construction trucks as they enter and exit the site. And additionally, we'll have temporary sediment traps, which they trap the sediment as the stormwater flows off-site, so that you're not increasing sediment to the downstream receiving water bodies. I believe that's everything I've got. Does anyone have any further questions?
Are you doing anything to those existing pipes? For
You talking about the ones over here?
sedimentation? Yeah, well, the one that goes through the field and the one that goes out.
This
like
one
in the
here?
Center, yeah, that one there and the
So-
one next to it.
So that one's going to remain. We do have a few area drains and catch basins located around the tennis courts, which will be tied into that system.
But does anything catch the sediment? Or is it
Um,
just gonna be going the way it is now?
It's going to be going the way it is now.
How about the
Except
one,
the on-site stuff you're going to do is all going to be.
It's all going to be,
sumps and
it's all going to be
woods
treated.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
and what are you gonna do on the one that, that one there, the one that goes,
This one here,
yeah, that goes right out towards, does that go out,
that goes
Through
right
the-
into the swale.
goes to the highway and then right near the highway, and doesn't that go into Best Pond?
Yep. So it drops into the swale and then it flows, I believe, a little bit this way. And then I think the culvert under the highway is located somewhere over here, or maybe it's over here.
It outflows the pond.
It outflows-
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Okay,
the pond here, it overflows over a spillway, which is
Right.
located like right here. And then it flows, this is flowing north.
Are you doing,
What flow is that pipe taking? That, the one.
What, this one here?
Yeah. I mean, it's
so-
just in the middle of the parcel there.
So,
Parking lot drainage?
yeah, so it shows in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there won't be any use for it. You need for it in the future. though.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, not this part anyways. This
Yeah,
part's gonna be
no.
demolished, but I think there's a small segment here that we tie into and we'll leave that portion.
And the one I guess furthest to the right,
This one?
is a section of that blue and then you're leaving a section of existing?
So
yeah.
this here is that large existing 48-inch
Oh, I'm sorry, the
culvert.
one
We're
next to
not
it.
touching that.
That one,
This,
yeah.
this here is a new pipe, yes, and it's gonna be tied into an existing outfall
I
located
just want
right
to make sure
here.
I'm seeing that right, yeah.
Yep. So the blue is new pipes and the red is old existing pipes.
So the bottom line is for the pond, you're not excavating that section of pipe, you're just tying into it?
Correct, yeah, because we don't, we're not, I believe the outfall goes into the wetlands and we're not disturbing wetlands.
Yes, that's why I'm
So-
asking, yeah.
We're just gonna pop right into the existing pipe.
So you're not doing anything as far as sediment coming off of that parking lot?
This parking lot here.
Yes.
So we have a couple of bioretention areas, which provide a little bit of water quality volume for sediment to settle out in there, and then those overflow into the system. But then additionally, we have these two hydrodynamic separators, and those are those swirl chambers that provide the rest of the water quality, and those clean the water before they discharge to the pond.
Is there maintenance on those?
Yes, there is. They require usually a vacuum truck. I want to say once every year or so. And so the vacuum truck comes in and, you know, they suck up all the sediment that has accumulated in there over the year.
So Parks is gonna have to keep up with that once they're installed. Because I think Parks and Rec manages that parcel.
Okay.
So you're treating all the water that you're on your site, all the other water, you have no control over.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, this
Right.
large
You
48-inch pipe is
You're
taking
chasing
flow
it
from
miles
another.
upstream to treat it.
And the tanks that are going to be holding water, how do you clean those out?
These here?
Yeah.
So very similar to the separators is a vacuum truck. So these systems here will have like inspection ports and maintenance ports
Mhm.
where the vacuum truck can just stick the vacuum portion into the chambers and then suck up all the sediment out.
Okay.
Are you putting like the roof leader drainage into those?
Yep.
So they're limited sediment then anyway, probably,
Yep, that's correct. So a lot of the roof, I believe, goes into those two systems as well.
because clean water.
Where the water goes out in the middle there, is that going to be all riprap?
Where's that?
Because I know I grew up around there and I've been through all those culverts and everything else. So I know what they look like because I used to go in them
Yeah.
a long time ago. And I know there's a lot of scouring going on through there. Is that going to be taken care of?
Yeah, so we're providing a riprap apron right at the outlet over here. I think there's another one over here. Although, yes, that's correct, Henry. Thank you. So that will be a head wall with the riprap outlet.
But the water coming out of that holding tank, that's going to go into the existing culvert.
So this right here.
No,
if-
not that one, the other one.
Oh,
I'm
this-
more
this
concerned
one?
on that side.
Yep, yep, it flows down right here and
Yeah.
then it goes into that existing pipe right there and then goes into the swale.
Is there going to be anything done to that existing pipe?
This red one here,
Yeah.
it's just gonna be cut right here because this has to be demolished and
Right.
gotten rid of for the new
So you're
building.
not doing anything on where that water exits? Off of that,
Uh,
you're going to tie into the existing pipe and the pipe's going to go into that swale.
Being treated before.
Yeah, it-
Yeah. But
Yeah, it's
I'm
being-
talking more about the scouring.
Oh, the scouring.
That's what I'm concerned with, the scouring.
I think it was kind of tough there because the slope, it slopes down very quickly with the swale. So I don't believe we had any riprap there, but
Who
there-
owns that swell? Is that the cities or the states? Okay, so it's states. Okay.
So I haven't, the city engineers reviewing the stormwater calculations, but what is the flow changing versus what they have, what there is now out of that? Do you have any idea? Out of
So
that
the
particular pipe?
entire site's flow is being reduced under proposed conditions, and that's mainly because of these underground chambers here. Those provide the peak flow detention, so the existing flows are higher than the proposed flows.
So that, the new parking lot or the redone parking lot on the right there.
Here,
So you're gonna have two pipes going in there, right? There's the existing, you're not touching, you're not doing anything to the existing one?
That doesn't collect anything from the parking lot itself.
No, but that
except for
one-
where we test.
At one time when they were trying to redo Best Pond and get some of the sediment out and make it a little bit better, there was talk about doing something with that pipe. And if you look all the way going up where that pipe comes from, they've changed a lot of the waterways to try to keep the sediment from coming down. And when that was all in the works, they were talking about doing something to that pipe.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if you're already ripping up the parking lot, isn't that a good idea to do whatever their original plan was to that pipe? This is going back probably, 8 years, 5 years. They had a big plan as to what they were going to do with that water coming down, because they were dredging the pond, but it was just filling up just as quick as they can dredge it out.
Which pipe, Jay? Is that like the third or fourth one over from the right?
You can't see the red.
Oh, you can't see
It's-
the red dot? Okay.
It
Uh,
is.
Yeah, I don't see any cursor.
But you do see
Why
you
not?
do see the red existing pipe, the red line,
do.
which flows into the pond.
At
Yes.
the Major Bessie Drive parking lot.
That's the large 48-inch culvert, which takes flow from the, I think their apartments directly to the east. And I believe that's pretty deep. So we weren't touching that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. That's the one that's basically draining much of the east end into, into Bessie Pond up
Yeah.
up Winthrop Street. And so I'm trying to figure out which pipe, because I was I was around for that project. And I don't remember that, Jay. Your memory's way better than mine. So I'm trying to figure out what pipe you're talking about in terms of, is it the big long one?
Yeah, it's the big black one that you could see from, that's there now. That goes underneath the parking lot and it attaches to the water that's coming down off of Winthrop Street.
Actually, that's this one. Okay.
Remember, I don't know, about 5 years ago, they redid the brook behind the water company's building on Winthrop Street. And they put all the rocks in to cantilever the water
Way
down.
up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way up the hill.
Yeah, yeah, it's about half, it's on the right-hand side going up Winthrop. But that was all part of that project to keep the sediment from getting into Best Pond. And
Okay.
if I remember right, there was talk about that pipe going underneath, doing something with it. I don't remember what it was, but there was a plan and it was like a stepped plan. Once they got part of the upper stuff done, then they were gonna work their way down. I haven't heard anything.
Public
So-
Works should know more
So
about
Jeremy
that.
could you pull that old permit and look?
I think it would be easier for me just to talk to the engineering, Public Works. They probably have they probably have all the history on that.
Okay.
I have a note on it.
Okay.
That's all I'm seeing. I mean, the rest of it looks good to me. That just throwing that out while it's all being demolished, that might be the right time to finish that other project.
Makes sense.
So you're suggesting that that would be coordinated with the timing of this project, but done by Public Works?
Yeah, it's actually off property, so they'd have to coordinate with the property owner here too.
Right.
Well, that line goes underneath that parking lot.
Yeah,
Right, the
yeah,
parking lot.
but it inlets, doesn't it? Probably inlets off a little bit off. the
Yeah, it
property.
does. They were talking about putting some sort of like a holding tank for the sediment to drop out there, I think.
So does that, I see a storm drain there that doesn't actually connect.
Which one are you talking about?
It looks like right along that red line, there's a storm drain just up in where the parking lot is, a little bit up. I think I'm seeing one on the plan here.
Yeah, so we're not tying anything
You're
into
not tying
that.
it in. okay.
Nothing
'Cause
into
it's
that
right-
existing
It looks like it's right up
48
against
inch.
it. See this?
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
This is it right here, little dash line underneath.
Okay. And this is, yeah, where's the big black pipe?
This is the one you were talking
Yeah,
about. It goes
okay,
up, goes
right.
up here. But yeah, it's like right next door.
Okay.
It's a 101C. The pipe kind of angles right towards it and then angles back away from it. I'm looking in the right place. 101C.
L112?
C101C. I just brought the ENS, the erosion and sedimentation control pages in for us.
You're looking at the L?
C101C.
But I think I see an L201C,
No, I mean that,
and it doesn't look like they're tying anything into it.
Yeah.
No, this part.
Yeah, see, they're putting that catch basin in.
But I think that, but they're not tying that.
No, that's why I was
We're
asking.
not
Is it-
touching that.
Yeah.
Does that exist? Oh, it looked like you were,
Much further deep.
I'm
Yeah,
seeing.
right,
I see it.
This is a
you're talking about the
50.
catch basin that is located near the.
Right near it.
Yeah.
That's a rain garden.
Yeah, that's-
And we may have to move that slightly to the, I guess it would be the north
Yeah.
Okay,
to make sure we don't break that other pipe. But that's essentially if the rain builds up to a certain point in the rain garden.
It'll go in, yeah. Okay. I just, the question was whether it was actually tying into that existing pipe or not. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions or?
No.
Next step?
This is just,
Yes, so I did put together a standard memo for the determination of significant, not significant. Basically, our steps are formally accept the application, make a motion to accept the application, and then make another motion on significant determination. My opinion is, the work is entirely in the upland. Good maintenance of S&E controls, and it's not a significant activity in my opinion.
yeah, I agree.
I agree too.
Me too. Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the application for Amy A. Samuelson, AIA, the SLAM Collaborative for location 50 Major Bessie Drive and 277 Winthrop Street for earthwork and construction as required for the revised site redevelopment, including grading, drainage, utilities, and placement of hardscape. And for the high school and middle school and central office.
Second.
Significant activity. Or does it have to be separate?
It doesn't have to be separate. You can, you can do it all in one motion if you want.
Okay, so all one motion.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Motion carries.
All right, just
Okay,
give me one sec so I can reorganize all the.
What's the round building gonna be? Okay.
So, just as far as progression on the application, the city engineer is reviewing the plans. We're gonna meet between staff and talk about it next week. And if we have any questions, we'll fire them off to you, but we have to wait until the March meeting for a decision from this board. So we have other meetings in the meantime, so
Sure. Yes, we do. See you next week.
sit next Thursday. Yeah. All right,
Next Wednesday?
next Thursday at 5.
That's for.
Architectural review, yeah,
Yeah, and and then the following Wednesday.
planning and zoning. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So those are actually both in the same week, 16th and 17th.
Oh, they are. both
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
The following week, I thought was-
Nobody.
Yeah.
All right, so I provided the latest version of the enforcement list. Anybody had a chance to look at it and has any questions? What things I'll be able to, if they stay in compliance, I'll be able to pull off of here. A couple other things I need to follow up to. Actually do some follow-up and change the dates on. But the good news is, since the last time we met a couple of months ago, I don't think I did added one on Collin Drive. Which we hopefully will be seeing an application in the next, hopefully maybe by next month.
Okay.
This is that area of wetlands all around Cedar Lane and Collin Drive. Somebody was doing a bunch of grading in the backyard, probably within about 20 feet of the wetland area, so expecting an application to resolve that. That was the only new thing. And I will, like we talked about before, I'll get that Felicity Lane to Corporation Council. They've already got it. It just dawned on me too. They already got a notice from Corporation
Yeah, I
Council
know.
too.
Yeah, now that you mentioned, I remember us talking about that.
Yeah.
And then I think they said they were going to their engineer and it kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, and he's contacted me a couple of times to say he was in progress with plans, but that doesn't mean they can go right back to violating,
Right.
you know? So, I mean, we may have to just go get a court order for a injunction to say no entering the property until you have any permits.
Right.
So,
I mean, we've been over backwards for them. I mean, you give them the
Yeah, we
benefit
gave
of the.
we give them way
almost
longer than
a
we
year.
usually give people.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then I couldn't find the file on this 3-lot 3 subdivision. It's buried somewhere, so I'll just carry that one over to next month. But I have 2 of these agent determinations. One was for basically a kitchen addition on this 390 West Pearl Road. It was it was about 80 feet away from the wetland, or sorry, 60 feet away from the wetland. So, and downhill from it. So it was really kind of a easy one. And then at the Toro Dog Park, if you've ever been down there, there's absolutely no shade in that place. So there was a Eagle Scout came in and we approved them for a little shade pavilion. It's actually, when it's built, if you've been down there, there's a large dog area and a small dog area. They'll have separate sets of stairs to actually go up on a little raised platform that overlooks the river. So you can kind of walk from one to the other on top of this thing. So it's sort of right at the top of that embankment. It'd be a pretty neat project once it's finished. I thought they'd start on it in the fall, but they haven't yet. So that's it.
Okay, next is adjournment. I have a motion.
Second.
Need a motion first.
Hey,
I thought
Now
you
you're-
had one.
now
I
you're
move we
muted.
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.